Good evening, everybody. This is Accounting 245 Excel, and we're going to be working through Module 5, Project 5B. What you should see here is a black screen. I'm going to start by opening the file, and I believe you're going to get a message according to the instructions. It contains links to other workbooks. We just want to not update, so click Don't Update. And this is what you're going to have. I've got my instructions open right here. And let's go through the steps. All right, I've opened the file. I've also downloaded these two extra files that were in SAM for you. They're called support. There's a Excel file and a Word document called support. We're going to need those as well. So make sure you have those downloaded to your computer. I really don't think you can do these projects on Chromebooks or iPads. You really need a computer, preferably a Windows computer, although I think Mac will be okay as well. So I've opened the file. You'll change the name as they tell you to. And it says you'll need those files. Okay. Click Don't Update. That's what I just did. Okay. This first one is an important step. Min is an artist who makes her living selling her artwork at art fairs around the Midwest. She is using this Excel workbook with multiple worksheets to summarize the sales of her artwork by fair location. She wants your help completing the sales information for this year. Break the external link in the worksheet. It doesn't say which worksheet, so that the formulas in the range B3, D6 of the art fairs worksheet. What they're talking about on the art fairs worksheet, if you click on any of these, you can see that the formula is equals, a link to some other place. I don't even know where this is, but it's a link to some other Excel file somewhere else. The data is good. So if we're happy with the data, we don't need these links anymore. What I do is I highlight all the data, and then you go to data. Now you can't really see everything because I've got it scrunched up. I'm going to move the instructions over here because I figured you have them open anyway. And I'm going to expand this out so I can see more of the menu items. Again, under queries and connections, workbook links, this is highlighting all these links. You could just hit break all, and it says it can't be undone. Are you sure? Break links. And then as I click on everything in here, nothing is linked to a strange other place. It's just the data entered. So you can close this now. Let's go to step 2. In cell B5, remove the hyperlink, leaving Eva Martinez in the cell. Yeah. So if I click on this right now, and I'm going to warn you, don't click on these links. I tried it earlier, and it spun and spun and spun for like 10 minutes. I think it was looking on my computer for some file that wasn't there. Don't click on it. Do yourself a favor, because it's going to try to take you somewhere you don't want to go. All we want to do is break this link. So I click away from it and then use the arrow key to go to the cell, or you could just directly right click it and click remove hyperlink down here in the menu. So now it's turned black. It's not a link anymore. I can click on it all day long and nothing will happen. So that step is done. Step 3, in cell D4, create a hyperlink to an email address as follows. And I think I will bring the instructions back and show you how I did this. It's a little time saver. Your instructions are a PDF file, so you can copy and paste from it. Cell D4, so go to cell D4 right there. Create a hyperlink to an email address, to this email address. What you can do is always try right clicking. You get link down here. I don't want to link to any of this stuff. You can hit insert link and then you get the menu box. You can link to a file, which we'll do later, somewhere else in this document, or an email address. So make sure you have email address selected. And it says, I want to link to this email address. So I'm going to copy. You got to click here and then you can swipe it. Um, you can right click, copy, and then under email address here, just right click, paste, or you can use Control C, Control V. That's what I usually do. And it says use info gateway as a text to display. So text display. Okay. It shouldn't say mail to, should it? I need to get rid of that. Well, it puts that there anyway. But the text to display should just be without that mail to. It should just be that. So make sure that's shown as a text to display. And I guess that should be in there for the email address, that mail to colon. Let's see. Use this as a screen tip text. I'm going to copy this and Control C for copy. And then I'm going to go over here. Screen tip text. What the? Okay, here it is. Screen tip. So just paste that in there. That's what's going to show up. I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. What about the subject? Text. They didn't say anything about a subject, so I guess we'll leave that blank. Hit OK. All right, so the mail to doesn't show up here. That's good. And then notice when I hover over it with my mouse, this little pop-up box appears that says contact the Gateway Art Fair organizers. This is a little tip, if I click this, that's what it's going to do. Don't click it. I think it's going to try to open your mail, but it doesn't know if you use Gmail or Outlook or whatever. So it's going to spin for a while. Or maybe it will find it. It didn't do anything on mine. Don't click it. If it doesn't ask you to do something, don't do it. That's my tip to you. Keep listening because I'm going to give you some nice tips during this lecture. In cell B10, create a hyperlink to a document on the computer. Hopefully you did download it to your computer, so it'll find it. What we want to do is just click in here where you want it. You can right click. I think you can also do insert link. That will also work. And go down to insert link. This time we want to do an existing file. So click on that. And I guess find the file. It might be here on the list. Hopefully it is. If you're currently on this folder in your Explorer, your File Explorer, that should show up. But if not, just go find it on your computer, wherever you put it. Maybe you put it in downloads. I don't know. But find it and click on it. So we've got to use support EX5 descriptions docs, descriptions. So we want this one. So we'll click on that, hit OK. And that creates a link. All right. Uh-oh. Use art fair descriptions as a text to display. I didn't do that. Try right-clicking, edit hyperlink. There we go. So if you did something wrong, you need to go back and edit it. You can do that. The text to display should be this, art fair descriptions. Again, we can type it if we want, or just copy and paste it like we did before. Wait a minute. Now, fair should be with a lowercase, and description should be lowercase. I think the things like this, spelling, case, they all matter. You're going to get points off if you don't do everything exactly the way you're supposed to. Screen tip text. We need one of those. Wait a minute. Art fair descriptions is a text to display. Screen tip is going to be this, and I'll just copy and paste. It put an extra space, so just backspace here, so you don't get that space on there. I think if you add a space at the end, like that, it'll mark it wrong. Okay, we done with that? Yeah, that's how it looks. Again, please don't click on this. It'll just ex it'll just extend your time on this assignment. Just don't do it unless it tells you to. So click away. All right, we are on number 5. Edit the hyperlink in cell B9 as follows. B9. Don't click on it. Click over here or right click on it if anything. So I'm just going to right click on it. Please don't click on it. Edit hyperlink, right? We're going to edit it. Is that what we're doing? Use online art fair calendar as the display text to display. All right, so we'll put that there. Take away that extra space at the end. Use display calendar, screen tip text. We want this for the screen tip text. Okay. Control C, Control V for paste. A little tip: you use your your left pinky finger to hit Control, and use your left index finger to hit the V for paste or the C for Control. They're right there near where your index finger will lay. So you don't need to take your hand off the mouse. You just keep your pinky on the Control and use your index finger to hit C or V or X if you want to cut and paste. Okay, let's do that. Now that's better, isn't it? Also, we want to continually look at the pictures and see that it's looking the way it's supposed to look. You need to check those frequently because if you go wrong in one place, it might affect other places. So we're done with that. Descriptions of 4 art fairs. It doesn't say that. Let me edit this again. Art fair descriptions, text to display. Huh. Okay, no, I was in the wrong one. So we just did the one in B10. Now we're on step 5. Oh, edit the one in B9. So right click, edit hyperlink. We want it to say B9. Make sure you're on the right cell. Online art fair calendar. Online art fair. It says that already. Use display calendar and the screen tip text. Maybe I already did that. I'm sorry, guys. It's been a long day. Let's go to step 6. Let's get to the good stuff. Minji wants to apply consistent formatting on the worksheets she collected from her separate workbooks. So these people gave her worksheets. Again, if you want to see everything, I don't know what that sheet is. This bar here is unnecessarily long. These 3 dots, these 3 horizontal dots, you can just kind of slide it. And now you can see all the sheet names. These sheets were given to us by somebody else. Okay. Group these 3 cities together: Chicago, St. Louis, Minneapolis. Group them together. All right, so what we're going to do is hit Chicago, hold down Control, and click St. Louis and Minneapolis. Another way to do it is click on Chicago, hit Shift, and click on Minneapolis. Shift will include everything in between. Okay, so click on Chicago, hit Shift, click on Minneapolis, and then release everything. And now you're in all 3. I got into trouble a lot at Ernst & Young for doing stuff in group sheets and then forgetting the sheets were still grouped. And then I would go, okay, let's go to St. Louis and let's change the marble sales to $1 million. Okay. Well, unbeknownst to me, I was changing that for Chicago and Minneapolis, and I messed the whole thing up. So it's fine to group sheets to do certain things, but be sure you ungroup them when you're through doing whatever it is you're doing to the sheets. If you forget and you leave them grouped, you could get into some trouble. They are grouped because they're all white down there. Change the font size of the merge range A1 to F1, A1 to F1. Change that to what, 16? Apply 20% accent. I always have a hard time finding this. I'm going to move these back over here so I can see all the menu items. All right. Apply the 20% accent one. Cell style to A2, F2. A2, F2. So to that, just click on that. Cell styles are right here. I don't see 20% accent one. So just hit your drop down box. Theme, cell styles, 20%, accent one. And if you hold it over, you can see how it changes. So we wanted that. And you can keep checking. Notice how the font of all these got bigger. It doesn't really matter which one you're on because anything you do is going to do it to all three. Bold the values in A5 to A8. That's this. So hit Control B as in boy, Control with your left pinky and the B with your right index finger. Or there's your little B button there. Or you can right click. I don't know how to do it that way. Control B will work, or that. Whenever I finish doing something, I just click away. So I'm not doing that anymore. Apply the accounting number format with 2 decimal places and the $sign. Now they want the accounting format. Make sure you do it to B5 through F9. B5 through F9. Okay. It's already like that. Well, some of these, see, this is currency format. See how the $sign is right next to the number? That's currency format. The Chicago person was on point. The Chicago person did it in accounting. Anyway, we want it on all the sheets like that. So that's this. It's the $sign. So if you click the $sign, that's what you want. What you don't want is to use currency format because that'll put the $sign right next to the number, all crammed in there, and it looks like another digit. So just hit the $sign up here. Leave it 2 decimal places, right? Okay, we're good with that. And resize the column widths of B through F to 14. So again, click away. So B through F, highlight all that, then right click up in here in one of these things and column width and just type 14, enter. That'll fix that. It says do not ungroup the worksheets yet. With the Chicago St. Louis all grouped, update the worksheets as follows. In cell A8, change marble to stone. Hit enter. In cell A9, change total to read total sales. A9. You want to say total sales. Double click in there. Hit the space bar. Sales. Nope. Sales has a lowercase s. Okay. Hit enter. Do not ungroup the worksheets yet. Okay. With them all still grouped, create a formula as follows. Enter a formula in B9 to sum the sales for Q1. All right. Go to your auto sum under home. Go to auto sum. Just click it. That looks good to me. Click it again. And then they're probably going to want you to drag this across. Copy the formula to C9 through E9. C9. So just use your fill handle, fill that across. And we're done with that. This one's pretty easy. Okay, it's very important that you read this instruction. Ungroup the worksheets and then check to confirm formatting, blah, 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 all present. You can do that even before you ungroup them, but okay. What I usually do, I ungroup it by just clicking on a different sheet and now see they're ungrouped. Another way to do it is, I guess you can, I'm guessing you can right click. Yeah, right click, ungroup sheets. That will also do the trick. They're ungrouped and we've checked that the formatting is good. Number 9, step 9. Minji wants to create a copy of Minneapolis because there's going to be a new art fair in Madison, Wisconsin. So create a copy of it. It needs to be between the Minneapolis and combined worksheets. Okay. What I do there is I right click the sheet name, do move or copy, hit create a copy because otherwise it'll delete Minneapolis. And we want it where? We want it before that sheet. Create copy. So it creates a copy of it. It calls it Minneapolis 2. We just want to double click on that or right click, rename, and we want to call it Madison. Hit enter. So it takes, edit the text to read Madison 2024 in the merge. A2 to F2. What's that? A2. Make sure you're on the Madison sheet, not the Minneapolis now. A2. Okay, we don't call this Madison instead of Minneapolis. That makes sense. Clear the contents of ranges B5 through E8. B5. Well, obviously, because this is Madison, we're going to put some new numbers for Madison here. A what? B5 through E8. Only this, not the totals. You can, of course, right click and do clear contents. I prefer just to hit the delete key on your keyboard, but either way will work. Click away. Step 10. Minji wants to combine the sales data. So we're going to go to this combined worksheet here. This is where we're going to summarize the data from Chicago, St. Louis, Minneapolis, and Madison. I know there's nothing in Madison, but when I do put something in Madison, it will be included in this sheet. Cell A5, enter a formula. I don't know what they mean by without using a function. I guess the functions are these things. Anyway, that references cell A5 in the Madison worksheet. All right, so just hit equals, go to Madison, click on ceramics. Obviously, we want these headings, ceramics, fiber, glass, and stone to be on this sheet as well. And I'm guessing we'll copy this down. Now, here's a pet peeve of mine. And some people don't care about this, but I certainly do. And I'm glad to see that Cengage does care because they told you this in the instructions. It says, copy the formula from A5 down to A6 through A8. So down to here without copying the formatting. I've seen so many people do this. Watch this. Notice the white, the gray, the white. When you copy this down, of course, it copies the formula down from the previous sheets, but it also copies the grayness of this. See how this is also gray all the way down? It's ugly. So what you need to do is I control Z is to undo. So I'm going to try it again. So drag down and you get a pop-up down here. Select here, fill without formatting. Now it preserves the formatting, the white, gray, white stripes, which that's what we want to see. That's why it says without copying the formatting. We're on 10C now. In cell B5, we're going to do a formula that basically sums up the Q1 sales for Chicago, St. Louis, Minneapolis, and Madison. This is something that I didn't know how to do before this. When I was at Ernst & Young, I would just do that. Hit the plus. Yeah. Kind of, archaic or whatever. I mean, it works. I guess it doesn't work anyway. That's not how they want you to do it. So get rid of that. What they want you to do is do one that, well, let me just show you. And actually, I had to Google this. Let me show you what I Googled. I just said how to create a 3D reference because I didn't know how to do it. It involves hitting equals sum and then holding down shift or something. Anyway, I'm gonna have to refer to my instructions again. All right, so we want to sum these from all the other previous sheets. So equals sum, open the parentheses, go to the first sheet where it is at, and this says hold down Shift and click on the last sheet that you want to include. See how it selected all 4 of them? And see how it says sum Chicago through Madison? And then we click on, well, what number do we want to sum on all these sheets? That one. See how it's like that? And then don't forget to close your parentheses and then hit enter. And your formula should look like this: equal sum Chicago colon Madison exclamation mark B5. If it's plus this, plus that, plus this, plus that, it's going to mark it wrong. Now what we can do, as per the instructions, is I guess we're going to copy it down. Copy the formula to A6, A8 without the formatting, without copying the formatting. So just use your fill handle, take a drop down box and select fill without formatting so it maintains the stripes. In cell B5, we did that. Okay. We did D. Now we're on 10E. Copy the formulas and formatting from the ranges B5 through B8. B5 to, okay, well, obviously we want to copy this across. So if I highlight all 4 of these, use my fill handle and swipe across, it will fill in that stuff. And as any good accountant will tell you, it's good to spot check 1 or 2 of the numbers. I'm just going to pick this one, for example. Q4 stone. It's about $3,000. Q4 stone, that's 1,000. That's 1,100. It's 900. Yeah, that's about right. There's nothing there. So these numbers make sense. These numbers make sense. Always check behind yourself. We on number 11. Almost done. Minji started to create name ranges and asked you to complete the work. Create a defined name. And I'll explain why we do this in a second. Create a defined name. This is number 11. For B5 to E5, B5 to E, wait, B5 to E5. Okay, just E5, don't include F. Create a range name for B5 to E5 using ceramics. We want to be able to, when we highlight these cells, we want it to say ceramics up here. Right now it doesn't say that. So one way to do it is to highlight the cells that you want to name this range. And it's under formulas, define name. And see, it's already kind of hinting at it that I want to call this ceramics. See how smart Excel is? It knows I want to call this group of numbers ceramics because it can feel the word ceramics over here to the left. So just hit OK or hit cancel. This is how I prefer to do it. Right click, define name down here, ceramics, and hit OK. So now when I highlight these, it doesn't say ceramics. What else? Well, where'd it go? If you want to hit name manager, you can see all your names. Well, there's ceramics. Oh, it doesn't refer to anything. Let's delete that and start over. This is how I really do it. You click on the stupid numbers and you go up here and you type the word ceramics, okay? And you hit enter. Now, anytime I click on or highlight those, it says ceramics. That's how I usually do it. But we can try this again. Define name. Fiber refers to. I wonder why it won't let me pick those. Maybe yours will. This is quite vexing. Let's call it fiber. We have to do this manually. If you figure out how to do this or what I'm doing wrong, let me know in the comments, okay? Or send me an email. I'm just going to type it and hit enter. Swipe. Uh-oh, did I accidentally hit the total column? That's good. That's fiber. That's glass. That's not glass. Okay. This will be stone. Hit enter or it won't take. And if you go under name manager, you can see that I've got ceramics, fiberglass, and stone as defined names. Create names for the range A6 through E8. A6. A6 through E8. Oh, I think we just did that. Yeah. We're on step 13. Apply the defined names Q1 cells, Q2 cells, Q3 cells, and Q4 cells to the formulas and range B9 through E9. B9 through E9. These four. So we want to call this Q4 sales or Q1 sales. Let's try this. Define name. Something's wrong with my Excel. It's not letting me do it this way. So go here, Q, capital Q1 underscore sales. Yeah, and hit enter. And see, it's not naming this cell Q1 sales, is it? It's very smart. It's naming these four numbers Q1 sales. Weird how it does that, right? Click there on that number and do Q2 sales underscore. There's a thing about Excel. You can't have any spaces in a defined name range. It won't let you put a space. I can see some of you on your exam trying to type Q3 space sales. Wonder if it'll even work. Yeah, you can't have a space. You got to have Q3 underscore or dash or something. This is Q4. Done. Okay. Again, be careful with your spelling, capitalization, because these can cost you points. Number 14, change the defined name of total sales 2024. Change the defined name to, for the range F5 through F8, F5. So for this, it's called total, but we wanted to say total underscore sales underscore 2024. I tried going here and doing it in there, but it wouldn't let me. What you could do is just go to name manager under formulas, find it. I think it's that one. Or maybe you can do this, right click, define name. It doesn't work. Go to name manager. Find it. It's called total. And if you want to see what it refers to, you can kind of expand this out. But yes, F5 through F8, that's what we're talking about here, right? Just hit edit. And it's instead of total, we wanted to say total underscore sales underscore 2024. Hit OK. And then it's good. It pops back up for some reason. Just hit close because it looks good to me now. And now when I click on or highlight those cells, it says the right name. The neat thing about it is you can use these named ranges in formulas. So it saves you time and trouble of having to select cells, blah, blah, blah. You'll see in a minute. Minji wants to compare the 2024 sales total to the 2023. So we're going to add the 2023 data here, I'm assuming. It's from another file on our computer. So it says to open the file combined 2023. So in your file explorer, find where you saved it. It's this file. It says to open it. So double click to open it. And it should open here in a second. Let's bring it down to size a little bit. It's too big. Move it over here. And I'm going to shrink this down a bit so both can show up on the screen. All right, this is your assignment here. This is what I've opened, the support file, they call it. All right, I've opened it. Switch back to this file. Okay. And go to the combined sales worksheet. Okay, that's where I was. Open the file. We did that. Okay. Okay. Now create external references. What we're going to do is we want the 2023 totals, and they're just right here, the 2023 totals. So here, just click. It's really easy. It's easy if you have them both open side by side. Just click equals and just click there. You got to click twice for some reason. And there you go. See 12, 637. Notice how long the formula is. It's linking to that workbook, to that sheet, to that cell. And for some reason, it doesn't work when you drag down. So don't bother doing that. It's only 4 things. Just do it 4 times. Click, 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 enter, click, click, enter. And I guess they want us to do a sum for that, right? Do not break the links. Okay, don't break the links, it says. In G9, of course, we will want to enter a formula. We want to sum, we want to sum these. They don't want you to take, I guess we can close this. Of course, I know you know how to do this. Auto sum. Okay, that's all well and good, but it's going to mark you, well, look at that. It automatically knew to use the range name, even when I used auto sum. What they intend for you to do is to go equals sum. And this is, you'll need to know how to do this anyway. So listen up. Equals sum, open parentheses. Now, under formulas, you can click under define names, use in formula. This is really handy. So I want you to know how to do this. You will need to do this on your Excel exam. We want to sum totals 22. So find it. See? And then close your parentheses and hit enter. It's basically summing these 4 cells, but you just need to know how to do that. Instead of saying sum G5 colon G8 up here, it says sum totals 2023. That's it, guys. We're done. Submit it. Again, check over your work right before you submit it. Just make sure you haven't missed something. Look at these very carefully. It's easy to, you saw me catch one of my own mistakes earlier when I was looking at the solution file here. So just do yourself a favor. Take a few extra minutes and just compare what you have to these pictures in the instructions. Okay. There's nothing else, then have a nice night. Let me know if you have any questions.